Hey, what's going on, guys? I got another late night stream today. But today on this episode, I don't really want to say this is like I don't know, I don't want to review it as a stream. It's gonna be quick. It is a stream, but it's a topic that's been on my mind for a few days now. It's something that I recently realized that people do, and it just annoys me. So I was like, okay, I don't have any subject or any news that's interesting in terms of movies or Hollywood. So let me just come on and speak my mind. So I don't know what I'm gonna call these. Maybe speak my minds episodes or deep thoughts. You're like, this is gonna be quick, maybe 15 minutes. We will see. But there's a movie that came out called Look Up, and I haven't watched it yet. But the reaction to it is kind of what just pissed me off. Specifically, this lady that you see on the screen. But I just want to tell people she's not the only one. She's not the only dumbass to actually have this opinion. But basically, let's talk about celebrity culture and basically the perception that this society has to them now, specifically actors. Now, I will say that actors, there's more negativity towards actors, right? And generally Hollywood, and for good reasons. Don't get me wrong. Like the whole thing with Me Too, them acting snobby, them very much being a part of the so-called elite. If you're political, you know what I'm talking about. Um, mingling, and they seem to have like, well, I mean, they're popular, so of course they have a little more sweat. But the thing that, and it's crazy because like, and the in terms of the view, like for example, um yeah, like most people hate, like not most, but I would say like a good portion of society do not care for actors or hate actors or whatever. And I think this stems from, not only do they act snobby, or they are viewed as acting snobby, but they are viewed as extreme, very political right nowadays, as in like, oh, they're speaking their minds more in politics, it's cool now. And before, they probably, and I don't know if it's true, as a whole, they probably spoke less on politics, right? But then again, there wasn't really the social media to blow stuff up, and you didn't have the close access that you do now on Twitter to speak or talk to a actor that you have now. So it could just be that. But let's say they do. They talk more about politics now more than ever, and they lean heavily more towards the liberal side more than ever. They're definitely more on the liberal side than, like, I know people just call them lefties, but they're really just liberals. Um, Most of these guys, like Democratic liberals. Um, First, the reason why there's a negativity is, that, and then there's the divide between, us American citizens, the left, the right, whatever. Independents, I'm pretty sure don't have a good view on them either. So it's like the right wing don't like them. Independents, not really cool with them. And then Gen Z, like in general, they have a total apathetic attitude towards movies in general. I've told you guys before. If you look at a chart, Gen Z is going to the movies less, and they're watching TV a lot less. Like, I think they're more interested in anime than anything TV or movies, to be honest with you. So their celebrities really is like TikTok and like YouTubers or streamers. That's their celebrities, to be honest. That's like what the new celebrities are, to be honest. Um, is this a good thing? Yeah. In terms of, we shouldn't be putting people just because of their jobs or rankings on a high pedestal anyway. The only one I would put on a pedestal, and that's just due to their impact on society, really. And I know we will never will do this, but like teachers, doctors, stuff like that, those are important and should be highly regarded. It's cool that your favorite star is there, but they're people too. They're just popular for starring in your favorite movie. But the thing I don't like is, for example, and I'm not trying to protect people who are rich. That's not my point of this video. But like, what I don't like is the hypocrisy, I'd say, right? It's like, especially how the right wing does it, because they are now in the populism game, especially after Trump. On what I don't like is they are kind of hitting on the right point that, yeah, and they notice that people don't love the elitism and this and that, the snobbishness of certain people with money. But what I realized is they still find a way to punch downwards, and I'll tell you what I mean. Um, how do I put this? Okay, so you know how there's a studio, right? And there's a bunch of people like stockholders of that say studio or company, right? There's a board, and then down from that board is the I don't know what's below the board. Uh, what would be below the board in the movies? Like I don't know, like the producers, I guess. And let's just say that producers or handlers, and then below that is like uh, the directors, and then below that is the actors. I don't know, like you could put actors and directors, and I don't know which one you would say would have more. I think directors would have more power, I guess, than the actors. And then below that is et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and below that, et cetera, and below that. But what I'm trying to say is, when it comes to the actors in this whole chain, yes, they're the face, but the thing is, they're still workers, very rich workers, but they're still workers. So it's just funny to me that like instead of like attacking, for example, Disney as specifically, or like, but let me give you an example. And they do, yes, I know you're gonna say they do attack Disney, but let me give you an example. People like Nerdrotic, when they punch at Disney, they purposely, for some weird reason, don't really attack the shareholders, like the ones with the most money, Bob Chapek or whatever. They'll attack like the person below them, which would be like, who's the producer's name? Kevin Feige, or the other female who's a producer. Now they are very rich people. They don't need my sympathy, but I'm just giving you a point. I've been noticing this, and it's just very strange to me. And I'm gonna give you one more example. I read this comment section where they're like, "Oh, yeah, they always look down on us, and they're really affecting society or something like that." And then, oh, they bought our politics. And he's talking about actors. I'm just like, actors. They don't have anywhere near the money to influence America like your boy Elon Musk, or who else? All these big names, Amazon guy, Facebook guy. But if you notice, they barely touch these guys. They barely talk about them. It's like their focus is on work. In a weird way, it's like they're avoiding mentioning these guys, or where they. If you notice that, if you ask like some regular, I'm serious, some regular Joe Schmo, like right winger, their first thoughts, yeah, they'll say the Democratic Party, but other than the Democratic Party and like politicians, Democratic Party, they'll be like, oh, I hate Leonardo DiCaprio, or I don't know, who's the guy that's not likable in Hollywood right now. I don't like, I don't know, like fucking like LeBron James, right? He's not an actor really. Uh, but and it's like it's the same thing for basketball, by the way. It's like, why are you taking LeBron James for speaking his mind when he doesn't even have nearly the amount of power that say who was the guy who owned the Cavs? That guy did. Or who's the guy who owns the Lakers? Those people do, right? They don't have nearly the amount of power of like, I'm not talking about GMs, but owners do. But you never hear them. And this is the thing that's funny. And I don't know if people actually heard this. It's called there was a quote, and I think it was from this show called Fargo, about like when you're extremely, extremely powerful, it's about being invisible, right? Because that's like the greatest power. Because no one's going to attack you because you're invisible, right? You're like an invisible enemy. And you could say that's the faults to the Hollywood actors for speaking their mind because they're not so invisible, but they don't have the amount of influence of these bigger guys, these owners, these big shareholders who actually own the studios and actually are able to, the ones who are able to say, yeah, we're going to do this project, this project, this project. They don't get the heat at all. It's always going to be the actors or the workers. And I get they're the face, they're the easy target. But I just find that strange. And let me play this video for you and you'll see what I mean. She does like the exact thing I'm talking about here. Watch, and I'll show you the comment section too.
Black and white, and it's so much more complex, so smugly care so much.
And I'm sorry if like you find her annoying. Like if you find her talking really annoying, trust me, I do too. My God, she is dumb.
About the environment, ever advocate for things like nuclear energy, one of the actual only viable, like large scale clean energy sources that we have. And that brings us to Leonardo DiCaprio.
In terms of the nuclear energy, she could be right about that, but I'm pretty sure we just don't have the technology for that. So I don't know what she means about we don't advocate for it. It's just we don't have the technology to get there yet. And there is a thing called the Green New Deal, which might have been. I don't want to talk too much about that. I need to read it, but I'm pretty sure they advocated for investing money into research like nuclear energy and whatever, and better energy, or finding better energy. But let's keep going.
DiCaprio's participation in this movie.
Been trying to tell you this whole time. It's right there.
I just love the way that he ended this film, because it makes us take a hard look at where we're ultimately going, and the fact that a lot of this stuff is slowly becoming irreversible, and that we have this very finite window of 10 years to make this transition. If we're not voting for leaders or supporting everything that has to do with climate mitigation, we're going to have a fate very similar to these characters.
I mean, we have Leonardo DiCaprio saying we need to support everything that helps with climate change mitigation, but it's like, Leonardo DiCaprio, you fly around on private jets. I don't. I don't have multiple houses. I'm not living this life of lavish luxury, unlike so many of these celebrities who still somehow feel justified in talking down to other people about the choices they are making.
By the way, just from looking at that video, he didn't talk down to anyone. He just gave his opinion on it. You see what I'm saying? It's like, even from that, where was I talking now? And don't get me wrong, there are definitely examples of celebrities talking down. Like, oh, you guys don't understand. You're stupid. Like, no. But right there, he didn't talk down to anyone. And she makes fun of, like, again, she brings up the private jets of Leonardo DiCaprio, which is true. That does harm the environment. But that's a freaking pesk in a dust versus, for example, these big corporations that do contribute most of the harm around the world, right? Like these big factories, for example, that do contribute to global warming. It reminds me of the whole thing. It's not exactly the same, but I remember with the Bernie Sanders. Oh, if you're so serious about global warming, why are you taking planes? Why don't you go drive a bus or something, or I don't know, walk there? Like, it's just really stupid, because it's like, I don't know, MF. Like, I have places to go in a certain amount of time, and I'm an old man. You get what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know, if I had a private jet that was like, gave me the option where I can ride it and it was safe for the environment, and I didn't take that option, then yeah, you can come at me. But I'm Leonardo DiCaprio, and I have places to go. And you have things to get to. I'm all around the world. I have to get places. So I'm not going to really blast the man. Although, and I don't know how many times he uses the jet. He owns one, but I could figure, because of the type of person he is in the job, that he's just not using it for no reason. I would hope, at least, right? Because if I'm him, I would use it when I need to. And I mean, if I don't, then I'm going to take other means of getting places. But just the fact of owning it doesn't make me a hypocrite, I don't think. But that's what she's implying. And I think that logic is a little silly. You know what I'm saying? And just talking about or giving my opinions, talking down to people. So just things like that, it just, to me, is why you see that dumb face of hers. This is why I think this logic is just dumb. I mean, like, would you ever see her do a video on Elon Musk and how he literally talks down to people all the time, either on Twitter or in real life? She wouldn't. She'd be like, oh yes, he's Tony Stark. He's just arrogant like that. It's a way of his speaking. Or it's like, no, he's just an arrogant dick. When someone asks him, for example, why don't you spend some of that money here on Earth if you really do care, quote unquote, about saving the planet or environment, like he says he does? And then this guy, who has vastly more wealth, vastly, than Leonardo DiCaprio, is like, I think we save humanity by going to Mars. Like, Mars is the way we save humanity. It's like, no, you're being a dickhead, and you're lying, because really you're just doing space travel for rich people. It's just a hobby of yours. You don't really care. You know what I'm saying? So this is just a Disneyland thing. That's what you did with NASA. So I don't know, stuff like that is just super annoying to me, right? And let's look down. Let's see if anyone talks about these other bigger entities, or do they just spend their time attacking actors? And then you'll see what I'm saying. Let's see if I can find it. Let me see. Yeah, it goes to the same thing with yeah, it goes to the same thing about, other than actors, it goes to the same thing with freaking the NBA or sports, tag LeBron James. There's so many more people who are literally billionaires with vastly more money, and they don't have nothing to say to those other guys. They have nothing to say. So it's like, either you guys don't know this, and you really think that the people who hold the most power is literally actors, or you do know, but it's really the fact that they talk a lot that you don't like them. It's the fact that you're talking that you don't like them. And again, I would get your point if they were talking down to you, but if they're giving your opinion, for example, if someone is asking them a question on the interview, right? If that is what's going on, then what are they going to say? Like, you're going to tell them, oh, next question? They could do that, but it's America. You have an opinion. And before you say, oh, well, they're just actors, what do they know? Well, what is this? What's her name? What does this Lauren Chin know? What's her credentials on anything? You know what I'm saying? What is their what's their credentials? What is her credentials? It's just an opinion. Just like me right now, I'm giving an opinion. No matter if I'm a coder, no matter what I do, everyone's allowed to have an opinion. And before you say, oh, well, they get the widest stage, bro, you can get on the internet right now, on Twitter, anywhere. Get really big. I don't know, whatever. You can give an opinion. It's a free country to do so. You just don't like what they have to say. And you don't. And you guess what? You have the right to crap all over their opinions. But what I'm saying is these guys, it's like they're implying they want to, in a way, shut down speech. It's the same thing when they say, oh, we don't like that. It's the same thing when they say they don't like certain politics in certain movies. It's like in a roundabout way. That's what you're advocating for. What, you want them to like not talk about what they want to talk about? Yeah, we don't like when our actors speak for us. It's like, you're the one assuming they're speaking for us. I don't listen to what they say. They're just actors. Like, if they have, someone might have a good opinion. Someone might be smart. I don't necessarily have to agree with what they're saying. So anyway, I don't want to keep this too long. I just wanted to show you some of the comments, right? And what I mean about this hyper focus on like bottom feeders, in my opinion, of this elites. They're like the bottom feeders of elites, right? It's like, really? We're going to attack the bottom feeders, but we're not going to point out the real issues. Okay. But let's see if I can find something. Leonardo DiCaprio built a beach resort. I don't actually know if this is true. I didn't believe he truly thinks the ocean levels will rise, flooding his beach resort. Okay, they were just doing some like crazy kind of like, because most of these guys don't believe global warming is real anyway. Dang it. I really want to find the comments for you guys. Oh my God, hold on. Oh, here we go. Let me see. Whatever, man. You're just gonna have to believe me. I don't want to waste too much time. But there was a lot of comments that I read because I was combing through it like days ago just to see what people had to say. But yeah, I mean, that's my take on like celebrity culture. It's not a good thing. I don't really think you should be praising anyone just because they're popular or famous or have money. But even if you get rid of the actors, they're not the freaking issue. Like, not the main issue, bro. They're not the main issue in terms of like, if anything, that you should give them crap for is their vanity, yes. Their hypocrisy, yes. But really, they're not the main source or should be the ones we should be focusing on the most. They're just not. The one you should be focusing on is people you guys like praise and dick ride, to be honest. Elon Musk. Those type of guys. Guys who are the wealthiest around the world, who have actual influence. Like a guy who can go to a clubhouse and have an instant meeting with a Russian president. Vladimir, for example. Those guys. These are the guys you should be like freaking worrying about. Freaking, what was it? With Jeffrey Epstein meeting up with like the prince of whatever his name is, one of the princes of England or whatever, and Trump. These guys have that kind of wealth and have that kind of power. That's all I'm going to say. Not like LeBron James, when you can literally go after the actual owners who have way more influence. Like, I just find this whole thing just hypocritical and stupid. But I just wanted to rant about that real quick and about this whole celebrity bashing we've been participating in. And, again, I don't, this weird way how celebrities are now the face of like society's issues. Like I just don't see it. I don't see it at all. That's just not. They don't have the most power in society. That's all I wanted to say. I know I've been rambling for like 20 minutes, so I'm gonna end this. Uh, Again, hopefully there's some better news tomorrow, or we're gonna have to do another one of these. If you guys like it, please hit a like, subscribe. Let me know if you guys got any good topics, and let me know what you guys think about celebrity bashing or celebrity culture or whatever. Do you think that just because you're actor, a famous actor, you should be allowed to say what you want, or do you think they should just shut up and do their career? Me, I'm a guy who celebrates freedom, so I'm like you should be able to talk whatever you want to say, whatever. It's just be aware we're gonna bash you for it, okay? If your opinion is bad, like what happened with Dave Chappelle, we're gonna cream you for it if it's a bad opinion. So that's not cancel culture, by the way. Cancel. That's another topic. You know what? I'm gonna stop. That is another topic. Cancel culture. We'll make that in Hollywood. We'll make that a topic because I got a lot to say. But all right, guys, I'm gonna sign out. Y'all take care. Bye.